also don't realize, and I don't know how many times it shows up in the media, they occasionally do make it clear, the majority of Americans still want exactly the kinds of things that FDR pursued and promised, especially in 1944 with the idea of an economic Bill of Rights. I mean, we actually had polling done, those of us who were involved in this project of creating an economic Bill of Rights. And to our pleasure, we found out that, the majority of Americans want essentially an economic Bill of Rights. And at least in the Democratic side of the thing, they really want it. The great majority wanted it. But what do the Democrats do? What do? Sorry, I'm getting revved up here as if I was with Michael back then,
Right.
But what do? They allowed Biden to stay in office, say he was going to run. They then choose or position Harris to take over. Even at the moment where they might have done something, when she chose Walz, they send him out against Vance in a debate. This is like that moment where you see it happening. And they probably told him, just shut up.
Right. Don't
say anything. And that was like the final straw in some ways, because the election was relatively close. But seriously speaking, it's like when people used to say, well, the Democrats really don't want to win. The consultants make more money as losers. And I used to joke about it. And I used to laugh at them and say, come on, don't be ridiculous. But it isn't that. It's that they don't want to lose the donors, period. Okay. And the fact is, we are the majority. Progressives are the majority. And the point now is to try to organize. And I as I sent the note to Brian and to you, look, the left has got to grow up. Okay. We have got to come together around a radical, and I say radical because in this day and age, it sounds radical, a radical, call it progressive, I don't care, vision that approaches or actually endorses and embraces an economic Bill of Rights, because it is what Americans want, and Democrats especially want it. And by the way, you can't work without it. We have got to align these progressive organizations with larger and smaller movements. We have got to get labor to remember that in 1944, when FDR called for an economic Bill of Rights, they launched national campaigns in pursuit of it, and they never gave up that vision until at some point they were so smashed, I don't think they could imagine anything after the 70s and 80s with Carter and Reagan. And then last but not least, you have Ro Khanna on occasionally, do you not?
We haven't, but
okay.
But
the likes of Ro Khanna, he and I spoke together a year ago at the pre-convention progressive thing, and I think people like him in the congressional caucus, progressive congressional caucus, it's about time they came out bluntly, not policy by policy, bluntly, and said, in a manifesto-like way to the Democratic Party, this is what we stand for. We stand with FDR, period. And that's what we want.
Right. And then you can hit the Republicans on being the party of the robber barons of the current era. And then you make it a full circle historical kind of perspective here.